Well, Ping King has another comment. Apparently, scouting for food, their troop collected 16,000 pounds. That
Wow.
is amazing. I'm not sure how much our local
Wow.
troops collected, but I'm sure it's short of 16,000 pounds. How large is your troop, Ping King?
Yeah, that's awesome. And a lot of councils do scouting for food in April. It's kind of been the traditional month for doing.
Ours is in November.
Yeah, same.
Weird.
Oh, really? Okay. So in the Midwest here, I found a lot of councils do it in April. And,
ours is it's the first 2 weekends of November.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if the weather plays in with that. You guys are up north, like being.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, we still have to struggle through the snowbanks and stuff, but that's okay.
We've never had to do that, even in November. Being in Florida, that's how that is, right? So
that raises a question. The last couple of years, we have 3 troops in our city. In the last couple of years, we've changed how we do scouting for food. We previously deliver to neighborhoods, kind of these door hangers. And say, hey, on this day, a week or 2 from now, we're going to be picking up food donations, and you just set it out with this tag, and we'll pick it up. And in the last 2 years, we set up collection tables at local grocery stores and other big box stores, and had people come by. And I think the conclusion is that we collected probably more food by having it that way. And also, when they're coming to directly make a donation, there's some people that will make a cash donation that we can pass along to the food shelf. Nice. And when they're just kind of setting food on their front step, it's kind of hard to make a cash donation. I'm wondering, how's it done in each of your councils?
In Florida, we usually take the first weekend and do those door hanger things, or we do the bags. We have like grocery bags that we actually tie onto doors, and that's that's kind of how we do things as far as the ask. Then it's the next weekend. There's the pickup at all the different houses where you left bags, and then of course there's always a table at the sorting area where they're sorting it into what they need for the food bank. And at that point, they will get donations from people. It's usually done in a parking lot of a food vendor of some store, so Publix or whatever. That's kind of how they do it here, but they do it before Thanksgiving, so it's right in November in Florida. What about you, Brian?
Matt and Brian?
Yeah, so our council had a pretty solid response prior to the pandemic. They would print up as many door hangers as you wanted. They partnered with a large grocery chain here and such. We had bags, I think, one year as well, but the door hangers happened to be the norm. It kind of went away. I think it still happens at a unit level, but I don't want to misspeak on our council's behalf. They've gone through a lot of changes. It's not as prevalent as it was prior to the pandemic.
Yeah. The pandemic really messed a lot of that up. A lot of people didn't want to participate or do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And we traditionally did it in April. And I personally kind of like that idea because everybody gets into the mood around, November, December. And is it really making the impact when April is kind of a lull for a lot of the food shelves? And so I was always very supportive of the April time window on that.
Yeah. At least with us, we do the same thing that Sam was talking about, placards and bags and things like that. I haven't seen anybody donate any money. But living here in the Northern Virginia area, the DMV, so the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, remember there was a government shutdown that was happening around the beginning of November and all of that. So when we put out those placards and such, having such a dense population that works for the federal government or the military, that was a question on all of our minds of whether or not we were going to have as much food as we did last year, plus inflation, plus all of that. So we still ended up getting more food this year than we did last year. So we were increasingly thankful for that. But yeah, just the way of the world and the different things that can affect people's willingness to give. Because yeah, like Brian says, most years around November, people are in the giving, especially around Thanksgiving. But around that time, it's like a lot of people are watching out for themselves at that point too.
Well, in this area, the food bank practically empties during Thanksgiving that month in November. So in December, the food that we collect fills it back up. So it's actually very beneficial for the local area. That's a big thing.
Okay, Mike, do you have the question that's been waiting in the room there queued up?
Well, we have.
Okay, so Aaron's asking, what is Scoutmaster Assistant specific training? And I was confused because you asked later on what's his question. So I saw the question and wanted to make sure we finished this topic. I'll start on this one and keep it moving. Aaron, what the classroom training is exactly what it says. It's done usually at a University of Scouting or at a district roundtable training session. And it's kind of the book aspect of the training component. Now, I saw that people have mentioned Baloo, mentioned IOLS. IOLS is the second or the interactive hands-on component of becoming a trained assistant scoutmaster or scoutmaster.
Yep.
The classroom coupled with the online training, not to be confused as being the same thing. So you have your online training, you have your classroom training. And the classroom training, I recommend whenever you can do in-person training, to do in-person training because you can ask questions. Others will ask questions that you don't get in a formatted PowerPoint or whatever presentation online.
Right.
You know what? I think that's a great opening to bring up, remind everyone about safeguarding youth training. So a little more than a year ago, Scouting America came up with a new training to replace our well-known youth protection training. It's now called Safeguarding Youth. I believe youth protection training that we're all familiar with was taken every 2 years. In some councils, it might have been every year. And now with the Safeguarding Youth training, every leader needs to take the initial training one time, and then there's an annual refresher that's a little shorter. The initial train, I think, is 90 minutes, if I recall.
Yes.
I'd have to reference back to our video last month when we talked about this. I think I think we talked about that and that none of us had taken the refresher course yet.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay, I took the refresher and I passed the refresher. I think we mentioned
an exam at the end.
Yeah, I think we mentioned some things about AI. For a couple of the quiz questions, I really question whether those were generated by AI, because there are some cases where wasn't sure that any of the 4 answers were really relevant, but I was able to discern the correct answer. I passed.
Yeah, aren't they?
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I want to point this out. I know it was mentioned last month, but every registered adult, as I understand, needs to complete the new Safeguarding Youth training or the refresher if they took it a year ago. Before the end of May. And I think this is a pretty important. Scouting America is pretty serious about this, and I heard it might be driven by the insurance companies. I don't know. But anyways, just want to point out, be sure to take the training.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. So
Baden Powell himself said that every scout deserves a trained leader. Think about that. If you're if you don't have that safety training, you're not a trained leader. That's not good. That's not good. So we gotta do it for the kids. You know, we gotta make we're an
Don't
organization that does that kind of thing. It's not just marshmallows around the fire, Brian. So
and Pink King commented that to pass the refresher training, the quiz at the end of it, you need to get an 80% rate.
Yep, you have to pass the exam. There is an exam at the end. It's not hard. You just pay attention, take notes. That's all. You know, it's not hard. Don't be scared about that. And if you mess up, oh my gosh, you might have to sit through the hour thing again, maybe. But get it done. Get it done. So.
And if you're at a question where none of the answers really make sense, you can type each of the answers into Google, and one of the answers will kind of make sense to Google AI, and
the AI will come in and help you.
Oh. No.
Sounds like cheating if you ask me.
Absolutely.
Pay attention. That's the thing. Pay attention.
That's
when
right.
they tell you something, write it down, because you know it's going to be on the exam.
We'll discuss it after you see. There's a couple questions where none of the answers make any sense.
Well, you just got to pick
I believe
one.
a couple were not written by a human.
What? You mean Scoutly wrote them? No.
Yeah.
Scoutly? You mean, well, Paperclip was looking for a job, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
The old Paperclip thing that came on the screen. Yeah.
Oh, so I got your joke. I don't know how many other people did, Stan.
Oh, I got the joke. I remember.
You remember the little Paperclip guy?
Oh yeah.
I know Clippy, yes.
See?
That was a assistant to Microsoft products a long time ago. Okay.